Me and my cousin were talking and this is an incredible story. Back in the days when Henry Ford became Henry Ford, he was getting interviewed by a Forbes. So the guy asked him, let's say you lose everything tomorrow morning, you get a phone call that everything is wiped off and you have to start from zero. How long it will take you to build a Ford, what the Ford is today, from ground zero? And he it took a couple of minutes, and then he says 2 years.
Welcome to the Power of Passive Income and How to Retire Rich with your host, Vijay Patel. Get your financial advice straight from the experts and learn how to take your first steps towards financial freedom. If you're ready to retire rich, then listen up.
So yeah, I had a couple of examples in my among my colleagues in the past that they were 1 or 2 years before retirement, and the stock market crashed.
Yeah,
they couldn't retire for another 10 years.
Yeah,
and that's devastating for people. You're betting on your future on something that you cannot control. There's completely out of your control, and it's a paper asset, right? So once you start playing that game, it's a lottery, really. I mean, think about this. You go to Bank of America, right? That's the typical example I'm giving to people. You go to Bank of America, and you can buy their stock on a free market, right? That the Bank of America would not lend you money to buy their own stock, but would lend you money to buy any piece of real estate in this country.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not secured on their stock, and they know that themselves they're putting money in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about mentality of rich and wealth. That's what I think we initiated the talk with. So let's talk about that. What do you see a difference between being a rich and wealth, and what is a mindset, and some strategies that people can use to be wealthy, not just being rich?
Yeah, it's a very interesting subject, and people tend to compare those two, and it's really not the same thing. You can be rich by different ways. You can win the lottery tomorrow and you're rich. You can have a very high income, but it's on W-2, and you pay a lot of taxes from it, and you buy your toys and your objects and whatever you want to buy out of your active income. That's a rich person, right? By all it means. When you make several $100,000 a year or whatever it is, and you consider yourself rich,
Lamborghinis.
right? And you buy your Ferraris out of your income, right? Comparison is being wealthy, where what you're counting on is your net worth, so to speak. And net worth is not only, I want to make a little difference here, because net worth is the value of your assets, right, compared to your liabilities. But it's also, like people say, net worth, it's your network. Those people that are wealthy have a very strong network of people around them, and they surround themselves with people that are better than them. They pull themselves up, and they strive to excellence.
Yeah.
And that's what a wealthy people are. They're building their income of not active income, but passive income, cash flow out of their investments. What they do basically, it's a very simple principle we talked about earlier, is transforming their active income, investing in some good income producing assets, either is real estate or businesses or whatever you want, income producing assets that will bring automatically a passive cash flow to them, And then from that passive cash flow, they buy their Ferraris.
Yes.
Right? So it's a cycle. It's not a straight shoot from your income. And that's what the difference mainly is between a rich and a wealthy person.
And plus, like, also building up relationship along the side. So me and my cousin were talking, like, and this is an incredible story. Like, back in the days when Henry Ford became Henry Ford, he was getting interviewed by a Forbes. So the guy asked him, like, let's say you lose everything tomorrow morning, like you get a phone call that everything is wiped off and you have to start from zero. How long it will take you to build a Ford, what the Ford is today, from ground zero? And he think like it took like, a couple of minutes, and then he says like 2 years. So a guy who built a Ford, like, which is a manufacturing giant, and it took him like almost 10 to 12 years to get there to that point.
Yeah.
But now his answer is like 2 years. And then like the interviewers were shocked. So like, they said, okay, can you explain, how can you get there? He says like, I will really bank on the relationship that I have made in that 15 years. And that is something that is going to get me to where I want to be in 2 years compared to 15 years.
Exactly. That's a great example. Yeah, it's that, because that's what their net worth is. It's their network, right?
Yep.
It's people you know and you surround yourself with. And I would challenge everybody to think twice of what they have in their lives right now and who are the 5 people they surround yourself with.
Yes.
And what kind of synergy do you have among those people?
Yep.
If they bring you up or they bring you down.
Yep.
Because that makes a big difference in how you approach your whole life, right? It's and I found this over the years being here in a different country, right? Starting from not knowing anyone to start having a big network of people that not only I can go to for advice, they come to me for advice, and we build wealth together.
Yes. Because the story is like, if you like count 5 of top of your friends, and if you average it out, you will be in average. You are average of that 5 person.
Exactly.
So, like, you definitely want to go back and analyze that